Alright, what's going on, guys? Hope you all are doing well. Now, so many people have been playing Halo Infinite's multiplayer, and whether you've been playing Halo for a long time or you just, recently picked it back up, many people want to know where the game's headed and, exactly what sort of content we can expect as the year goes on. Now, at the time of me recording this video, Halo Infinite's campaign is going to fully release for everybody in just a couple of days, and of course, we got the multiplayer somewhat slightly early, although technically it is a beta. It's still going to be continually updated, and there will be more content added to not only the MP, but also new modes and stuff like that. So we're going to go over all of the Halo content we know is coming for Infinite right now and sort of discuss the implications of that. A lot of things that 343 have stated directly, but also is just some inferences we can make as players and as a community with the evidence that we currently have available. So I think you guys are going to find this very interesting, and if you're interested in Halo Infinite at all, then make sure to subscribe and stick around the channel because we'll have a lot of content like this. But if you enjoy the video today and want to help support the channel, the best thing you can do is drop a thumbs up on the video. It means a ton, but it will help spread the video also to more Halo players, and we can sort of get this out there. So a few of you watching this, I'm sure, saw my Halo Infinite multiplayer review, and I did call it like a full MP review. A lot of people in the comments were saying, hey, this is only technically a beta right now, and while that on its face value is true, as far as day one content that MP is going to look like when the campaign releases on the 8th, more or less this does mark the start of Season 1, literally stated by 343 that this is basically the launch content that we're going to be getting for MP, although that doesn't mean we're not getting extra content. Now, I'm going to tackle Battle Pass and progression stuff in just a minute, but I do want to spend some time talking about the literal maps, modes, and also weapons that we have so far in Halo Infinite. Of course, as far as what would have been on launch had they not decided to drop the multiplayer early, it would have been what we have currently available. We have a few fully functional maps, we have a functional ranked mode, and also new little limited time modes or just ones that we can play and enjoy like Fiesta. Stuff like that will be rotated in and out, I'm sure, but as far as the baseline of what we have to play with, Halo Infinite's multiplayer isn't going to drastically shift or transform on December 8th when the campaign and technically the full release of the game is. This is essentially we just got the release of the game early. But beyond Season 1, when it does come out, I think the things we can expect first and foremost are new implementations of game modes and also some rearranging of the ones we have currently. One of the biggest complaints that the Halo community seems to have about Infinite, it seems there's no real way to decide exactly what you want to play. You have your Fiesta playlist, you have Quick Play, which can be a variety of things such as Slayer or Oddball, but you aren't guaranteed if you want to play specifically Slayer, you can't really do that at the moment. You can play Ranked, obviously, but aside from that, you can't play the experience you exactly want to get into, which likely could change with a few playlist updates either on launch or shortly thereafter, which wouldn't require any new content to be added, just slightly a rearranging of the already existing ones. But when it comes to new game modes, a lot of people are expecting SWAT to hit the game, and I definitely think there is a lot of evidence to that. It's apparently called something different when it does release to Halo Infinite, but SWAT has been a classic from past Halo games, and I think would make a great addition to Infinite, although it, isn't here at the moment. It makes sense for them to not have too many game modes at the beginning, especially during the launch, as they want people to have the most pristine Halo experience and to not dilute it too much. I feel like that would be the best option, and as far as the content we have currently in Infinite, it seems to serve that purpose just fine. Now, in terms of new weapons and maps and things like that, there are actually variants of basically every single weapon in Halo Infinite that do currently exist in the game that you can obtain through some custom game methods that are slightly better versions of the existing weapons. For example, the Breacher shotgun is a little bit better than the classic Bulldog. There's also a regular energy sword, which we play with in Infinite, and there's also a duelist energy sword, which is slightly quicker and has less downtime after swinging, stuff like that, but there hasn't been an official confirmation about when or how these will be implemented into public play. I can imagine these would be added in their own playlist to some degree, because you have to be careful about balancing. If you were just to add, let's say, a standard AR that's literally just better than the base version, or any gun for that matter, it would certainly screw up public match balancing, and either this would be its own limited time mode, or just basically a playlist specifically for that kind of thing. When it comes to maps, it's a bit of a different story, as we have concrete evidence with the weapons, you can literally play with them in game. Maps are a slightly different scenario where we're not sure exactly what they're planning on them. Halo Infinite launched with 10 total maps, which is maybe less than other games have launched with previously, but because this is sort of a live model service, is going to be continually updated as we go throughout the year, and will likely have the most maps of any Halo game by the time it reaches the end of its life cycle, I would presume so. After the game launches, 343 should be giving us a little bit of a clear picture and a better idea of the roadmap of what content is ahead, as so many people jumping into Infinite are literally dying to know exactly how this game is going to evolve as we go on. on. It's time to address the big problem, right? The elephant in the room. The progression system I know has been talked about to death. It's so interesting to me because when it comes to what you can complain about in a game, for the most part, for other games, not necessarily Halo, it's usually about the gameplay itself or some sort of mechanics. I really haven't seen virtually anybody complain about the gameplay of Infinite. Essentially, all of the negative feedback has come down to the battle pass progression and more generally progression system of the game. It's a little bit too oppressive, too grindy, and it doesn't feel as rewarding as it should be. Most of the things that in theory you should be able to unlock with at least relative ease, locked behind paywalls or extremely grindy challenges that aren't really satisfying. I think for me, I'm not going to get too caught up in the weeds here with how the progression system works, but my biggest problem, and I'm sure a lot of you guys would agree, is that at least as it was, they have made some changes already, but the initial battle pass progression didn't allow you to play in the way that you want to while still feeling rewarding. It pretty much streamlined everybody into playing the exact same way, and they have updated it to where like literally one of the challenges now is just to play a single game, and you can do that in any manner you want to. It still could do with a lot of work though, I will admit that, although that's something that will be evolving, of course, as we go on, and 343 has certainly heard literally everybody's cries. It's not like they can exactly change it immediately. One of those things that, yeah, obviously needs a ton of work, but at least the game itself is functional, and the entire battle pass progression and that system in general can be molded and changed throughout the entirety of the lifespan. The gameplay, if that were the problem, it would be significantly harder to fix and repair than if it were just battle pass progression. But obviously, for those of you who have been worried about that, it is being looked at and it's being actively tuned as we speak. Also, with Season 1, I can imagine them making a few gameplay changes to maybe how some of the weapons work and other mechanics within the map itself. Now, I really haven't seen that many people complaining about anything being unbalanced or overpowered or broken, but there will be some tweaks made, I'm sure. It's actually pretty impressive how well the overall gameplay balance has been in Halo Infinite. Like, all of the fundamentals are super strong. Now it's just a matter of like building the content around it to complement it. We do have a fair selection of multiplayer content. I don't even want to make the case that we don't have enough. 10 maps is very generous and the gameplay is balanced. There are some room for, you know, new things and different modes to play as well. I think that's the biggest thing is playlist at the moment. Again, that stuff as far as the core multiplayer experience is moldable with time. Now, one thing we do know about Infinite, or at least know to some degree, and I'm going to go there, I'm going to talk about Battle Royale. I want to approach this subject from a slightly different position because as far as like being a Season 1 update, it's absolutely not going to happen. Don't count on Battle Royale being implemented in Infinite for quite a bit, but we can speculate a little bit down the road because do you know from some of the test flights that Halo Infinite did that there are voice lines that literally of the announcer talking about Battle Royale. Like that exists in the files, and whether that's something they're planning or not, I'm not sure. But I think there's basically a win-win case for everybody. If you're like a hardcore Halo fan and you're not really into the whole BR thing, they're basically making the pristine multiplayer experience for the rest of this year as it goes on. And then I can imagine them writing that momentum and being like, hey, we have a masterfully crafted multiplayer experience this year for like the traditional Halo fans and people that are more into the arena style of gameplay, but we also have a additional battle royale for people who are either new to the scene, maybe, you know, people who are younger, maybe got started playing Fortnite or Warzone or Apex, whatever it is, something that could satisfy both like the traditional multiplayer community and people that would be interested in a BR. I really feel like it would be the best thing they could do for Halo. And we know that like, you know, battle royale files have been leaked, but also like Forge mode is coming in the next couple of months. If 343 doesn't make a battle royale themselves, you can guarantee that somebody is going to make one within Forge mode, obviously. I also think it's possible that some of the variant weapons that we know are in Halo Infinite, like, you know, the slightly better versions of the base weapons, could play into the infrastructure of the battle royale, and possibly that system would work wonderful in there. So the more I think about it, it would make sense for 343 to do a battle royale a little bit later in the year, because when you have that, again, that multiplayer experience sort of solidified and people understand how it works, and then you drop a BR, they serve two completely different purposes. Playing an arena shooter style of game is entirely different to playing a battle royale, even though if they're on the same maps and mechanics and using the, you know, exact same weapons, it's a different experience, it's a different feeling, and they serve two different functions. Now, 343 has stated that Season 1 of Halo Infinite has been extended somewhat and is going to last until May of 2022, and then at the earliest, because of how like sort of packed and quality these seasons are going to be, one of the big things to expect probably for Season 2 is going to be maybe campaign co-op. But like I said, just because Season 1 is lasting till May 2022 doesn't mean that the game isn't going to change from now until May. That's like completely unrealistic stick in multiplayer will adapt and evolve and have new content added to it, as well as like battle pass stuff. But from what we understand, it's like 343 really wants to take their time with how the way the seasons progress this year, and if they can land another banger with season 2, I think they're in great shape for the rest of the year. Forge mode will probably be coming in season 3, if not just after. And again, just because something leaks doesn't mean it's guaranteed, although I'd like to see it. Battle Royale, if it were to happen, I don't think would be late until like next year. It's going to be a long time, if at all, for a BR to come out, but it's certainly worth like sticking around and checking in on Halo if they are working on such a thing. But it's good to get a rough roadmap of the things we are going to be able to play and experience as Halo goes on. Season 1 is more or less just establishing Halo Infinite multiplayer again, and also getting the campaign launched and getting people into that sort of environment. But beyond that, I would also expect like additional game modes. Hopefully SWAT makes it to the game, and a few others that I think would serve really well in Halo Infinite Season 1. But like I said, it will be lasting until May of 2022. So everybody's got a really long time to grind the Battle Pass, and alongside the additions and changes and tweaks they're making to the progression should be significantly more fun, easier, and just a better experience overall. That's the idea right now with Infinite, and because their like fundamentals and mechanics are so solid, I'm excited to see what they're going to bring next. I've been enjoying the hell out of this game, and it's really got me back into Halo, and I hope a lot of you guys as well. Anyways, just wanted to make this quick video updating you guys on sort of what Halo Infinite is planning for the distant future, and I will be making a lot more videos like this if anything does happen to the game, and we can also like just talk about what's going on. So anyways, if you guys did enjoy the video, I would really appreciate a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, make sure to go ahead and subscribe as well for more Halo content. And also, I do stream over on Twitch. If you don't already follow me, link to that is in the description. I'd love to have you over there. It's a great time, but have a great rest of your day, guys, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take it easy. I'm gonna go, and peace out.